Let's make a hamburger. Okay, let's select everything and get rid of it. And go to front view, Shift A, UV sphere. I'll go for 24 and 10. And wireframe. How about we get rid of all that? It's debatable if I want to keep that. I'll try it without. Take this. Actually, let's take the whole thing and let's scale on the Z a little bit. Flatten her out. Let's take this E and we'll come down just a little bit. And I think before we go any further, let's copy that Shift T. And I'll bring it down. Let's break that out. We're going to use that in a bit. Let's go back to the top there. Let's close this off. E and S a little bit. Then go back to solid view and let's mesh faces. So let's grid fill. I'm just going to leave the defaults. Let's do that. I'll add a subdivision surface. Like that. And I think because of the stretching up here, I'll try W, subdivide smooth. Yep, my tries are going up. That's pretty good. That's the top of my hamburger bun. Let's take this one and I'll just go E and bring it up. And flip my normals. And I'll go E and S and I'll fill that. I'm just going to accept the defaults this time. E and S, and I'll do the same thing. Okay, so I got that piece. I'm going to, with that one selected, Shift Alt, or just Shift and click that one. Control L and make links. I'll just choose modifiers. I'll take this one and smooth it. And I'll have, well, I think that needs to be a bit bigger. That's my bun. How does that fit together? That's probably okay. Alright, we got the top and the bottom. Very nice. I'm actually going to take this piece, Shift. Am I going to? Shift D. We could try that to make the, let's hide that, to make the tomatoes. In the edit mode, I'm just going to scale it. That would probably look okay. Let's set the origin of geometry. Bring the bun back and see what this would be like here. Let's hide the bottom bun. Actually, let's set the origin of geometry on all these things. Let's hide that though. And Control 7, look from the bottom. Where's my front? There's my front there. Let's put the tomato there. Shift D. And we'll bring one here. There's a front, right? Okay, so let's I'll be most likely rendering from something like that position. Okay, so those could be tomatoes, whether they need to be the same size or whatever, that's okay. And then what we're going to need is we're going to need some lettuce and some cheese. Let's go ahead and do the patty. Let's bring the cursor to there, and I'm going to bring in a plane. Let's scale it. piece of meat there. Let's put some edge loops, scale on the X, not too far out, and in the Y, and I'll come up and down. Let's try that. Shift and click, Control L, and choose modifiers and smoothing. Let's try bringing all of this together and see what it'll be like. Okay, so okay, let's make some cheese. For this one, well, we'll just do the same kind of thing. Let's bring it up just a little bit. Like that, maybe. I will do a subdivision surface on that, so let's do this for now. We'll do another one. And I think I'll try just this. See how that looks. Not enough, eh? Okay. Maybe proportional editing. Do that all around. Just like that. Okay. Thicker though. This thick piece of cheese. Now, I might want to try just that. I think I do. And then for the lettuce, let's try bringing in a circle with maybe 24. I don't know about this. I'll try it. That on actually. I was thinking of this kind of thing. I don't know if this is how well it's gonna work. Like this, we'll see. I'm just gonna move these around. Where'd it go? That may have screwed up. Just messing it up. Let's try that. That's not gonna be good enough yet. Alright, let's try that. Not that. Turn that off. Scale that in. And let's grid fill that. Select it all. Give it a bit of thickness, not too much. Let's try adding the subdivisions. Well, actually, let's flip the polys first. Let's try. That. Seal that a bit too. let's see, we can fix this up a little bit. That's the cheese, right? There it is. Some lettuce. Oh, maybe I don't need that big. On the cheese, let's make the cheese thicker. Okay, let's get everything all set up. There's our basic hamburger. No, I kind of like it like that. Alright, so there's our basic hamburger. I think actually the bun is needs to be a bit smaller. Scale shift Z on the bottom. I could be wrong about that, but if I take everything and scale in the Z. Okay, so we'll do that. We'll work on some sesame seeds in a bit. Let's bring in our camera. And actually I'll rotate this 90. And this I'll rotate 90. Go right ahead and change it. I'm thinking. What am I looking for? There it is. Okay. I'm going to move the camera to the next layer. And on the next layer, I'll do my lights here first of all. I'm going to do it this way. Actually, I need to see my camera, don't I? I want to see my camera. Put them here. And I am going to rotate in Y. Before I do anything else, I'm going to copy that there. And actually, this one I'll do here like that. And this one. Okay, this one I'm going to make sort of yellow. I'll leave it at 100 for now. And this one I'm going to make 50. My key light, my secondary light. I just want to check something. Okay. And then I'm going to just do a brand new one. Let's put it at the back. rotate it like that, are you? Yes, there we go. It's okay though. I want that white, but I want that like say 15. I'll try. I'm just curious to see if I see anything out the back. Not yet. That could explain why. What I'll do is set that to 0 for now. I'm actually going to set that to 0 for now as well. And there, I start to see it there. So maybe I do want this to be more like 40. I'll try 80. Try 50, and I think this one actually gonna do 100. And I think I want this one a little bit more like this. Well, it's a start anyhow. With that there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that's selected, that, and I'm going to move these to there. That didn't work, did it? Did it? Yeah, so I just have the hamburger there. Cool. Now what I'm going to do is split my screen, T and T, node editor, and select the bun. And I've got an image here of some colors I thought I might use. So I'm going to bring those in at the bottom here. Image, open. Where is it? It's in my 3D renders under hamburger colors. There we go. Let's say so it's in there, so I can color pick from that. So I want a new material here, and I'm going to make some changes here. Shift S. I'm going to switch this to the principled, and for the base color, I'll color pick that. I'll switch it over here to materials, and this is what I'm going to be doing. Where's my bun there? Okay, there's my principled shader here, which I didn't really even need to color pick there. I'm doing it with a gradient anyhow. So I want a color ramp, a gradient texture. So let's do that stuff. So what I'll do is I'll just take this and I'll Shift D a couple times. And this is going to be Shift S. This is going to be a gradient. What am I looking for? A gradient texture, yeah. Okay, so in here, under texture, I want to switch to gradient texture. Okay, and I'm also going to need a color ramp. Actually, let's just move this guy over here, I think. There's my color ramp. There it is, like that. Okay, so I'm going to put a gradient on the bun, like this. A gradient texture. I'm going to use linear, and my color ramp here. So let's start working on this kind of thing. So this is really where I need my colors. So this is actually what I wanted to color pick. Something like that. That's actually going to be darker, I think. So let's slide this over as well, and we'll see. So I'm going to choose that one there, and then this one I'm going to just. Oh, that's not the one there. There it is. I'm going to do that kind of thing, and we're going to try just messing around with this and see how it works. Okay, so I'm going to connect the color from the gradient texture into the FAC and the color into the color there. So this is going to go in here, so that's going to override that, and the color is going to go into the FAC, and you'll start to see that. Okay, so if I select both my layers for my lights, let's look through the camera, you may start to see a bit of a gradient there as well. I also think I want to have the background a lighter color, like this. And so, and I want to move that gradient around to the side a little bit. So I'm going to select that. I'm going to go Control T, and I'm going to get this, and then you can just experiment here. So I could try 35. You can see what happens there, right? My minus 20. No, that's not what I want. So let's try 25. Let's just see what I used over here. 12, 20. This just depends on the model and all that kind of thing. Maybe this one is 20. And 12. Okay, maybe. Oh, minus 20. Minus 12. You just experiment. We're starting to get there. You can just, or you just pull it around like that. So I'm just gonna see what I can do with this. There we go. This kind of thing. So I get some darkness in there, and you can mess around with the colors until you get the colors that you like. Just a curiosity, how did I do this? It was kind of a darker there and there. It seems like it was a bit more orangey. Something like that. I might tweak those colors, but the other thing that we're going to need here is I want a bit of glossy, and then I want the white border. And so what I'll do is I'll stretch this out. I'll just add a new one, shader, mix shader in here, and I'll take this and I'll copy it, and Shift S, and I'll convert this shader to glossy. Plug that in here, and what did I use for numbers? 0.3. Okay. That's not it though. We're going to do a little bit more. I'm going to take this and Shift D a couple times, and Shift S. We're going to change this to layer weight, and this guy we're going to make an RGB curve. Shift S, color, RGB curve. There we go. And okay, well, what we'll do is we'll just attach them, and then we'll see how it affects things into the FAC there. Okay, and facing into the color, I believe, and we'll start to get that. All right, facing into the color, and you can see where I've got my curve there. So let's just have a look at that. It's a very cool effect. I slide there. I'll just keep that. Just keep that going. Let's slide this down. Okay, it gets a bit darker. Like this. And that's kind of the effect that I'm going for. I don't know how much that looks like a hamburger bun. You might have to tweak the colors, but something along that line. And in terms of the blend, I've left it at 0.5 and that at 0.5. Okay, so that's something. That's not what I wanted to do. This is going to be, this material is the bun. And I'm going to apply that. Let's get those lights off. Now to there as well. So if I do select all that, you know, cartoon hamburger. Okay, that's going to form the basis pretty much of all of my textures, except for the gradient. I mean, I'll be using for other things. I'm not sure I like that gradient yet, or those colors, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually, yeah, you can see for another one, I've got a very similar setup. I just don't have the gradient, but I do have my color set right there. So what I'll do is I'll copy this. Better select this. What do I got? The cheese. All right, let's get out of here. That's the cheese. All right, so we'll call it cheese. I'm just going to delete that and that and that, and over here the cheese is this one. I'm just going to color pick this. What's that? Oh, I got the bun. Now I want to have a look at my curves. I use a similar curve, so I'm not super happy with that color yet. Cheese, the hamburger patty here. Let's choose cheese, but hit the plus, and this is, I'll call it meat. And where is the meat? There it is. I think I need to do a bit of work on this. Oops, Shift Z. Okay, yeah, maybe a bit too yellow there. Let's try going back to that. That's a bit better. Maybe that's why I had those colors there, so I'd actually use them. Let's go over here and let's choose the no, not the bun. Let's choose the cheese and hit plus and call it tomato. Okay, it's actually, maybe I may have to go into it. What did I do? Did I do that? There we go. Sign it. Okay, so let's choose all the tomatoes. Very nice. And then we got the lettuce. Like the plus and lettuce. There it is. We have a beginning of a hamburger. I think I might want my tomato there. I'm not sure. A bit of the cheese maybe is sticking through. No, that's all right. Okay, cool. So we're going to put some sesame seeds on here. Let's just close that up for now. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to, let's select the top part there. And in fact, let's just do cursor selected, Shift A. Let's add another UV sphere, and let's hit T. And let's just go for 12 and 6. I'll go back to solid. I'm going to cut off part of this. Oh boy. There we go. Let's cut off those and take it, scale this in the Z, flatten it, and scale it way down. And we're going to scale this in the Y, let's say, and then make it a lot smaller. Subdivision, we'll try to get away with that. I do have some stretching on the poles there, but it's not going to be visible anyhow. So, oh, is that too big? Hopefully it's all right. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take this and slide it off to the side. Let me see where my front is. Slide it off there. And I'm going to rotate Z90. And I may need to rotate this again. There's my front view, and there's my Sesame Seed, which maybe I should do that again. Okay. I'm going to select some vertices here. I'm going to select that one, and I'm going to go Control Plus out to about there. We'll try that. And click here. That's actually, I can get rid of that. And under vertex groups, I'm going to go plus. I'm going to call this seeds. And I'm going to choose assign. So I can deselect, I can select. Okay, so I've got a vertex group there. It's like a region defined, named, that I can use. I'm going to select my little guy. Am I selecting that guy? Am I selecting this guy? I'm going to select this guy. And I'm going to come over here to particles, new. I'm going to choose the type hair. And it's going to go a little bit berserk. Let's go for 20, first of all. And for object, I'm going to choose, where is it? Did I not name it? Oh, jeez. Here. Seed. Let's go back to this. Seed. And we also need to, under duplicate group, we need to set up under vertex groups density. That's where I'm going to select seeds. Okay. Now, the orientation is a little bit messed up, so I'm going to come back up to advanced and rotation, and I'm going to try normal. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this guy and I'm going to rotate Y 90 and see if that fixed it. Okay, it's close, right? This is the upside down. So I'm going to go back out of there. I'm going to try rotate Y 90 minus. Let's see if that fixed them. Okay. Let's scale them up like that. There's my front. That's my front. Okay. And what I might do, let's try just doing that. It shouldn't matter. Let's look for my camera. Okay. Some sesame seeds there. Now I'm going to take this object and I'm going to move this guy just anywhere. All right. And then I'm going to view for the moment. We're going to, do I need to bake those? Really doesn't matter that much for me. So I'm just going to go to materials and I'll choose cheese. Let's go over here. Oh no, not there, not on the bun. I take it back. We'll put that on this guy here. Whatever. But I'm going to change this to seed. Okay, lettuces are there. Okay, so we got seed, and we will. I can probably get rid of that. All right. Anyways, we can choose whatever. My shader is here. I'm just going to switch that to a color that I like. Almost white, anyhow. If we come back here, you can see. Alright, and then you just work on your lighting. It might even be too much with the way I've got this set up with the glow. But I do want this to be a white background, a whitish background. And so you might have to consider your lights and stuff. That's getting close to what I'm looking for. The other thing that I want to do is select this, Shift S, cursor selected. I'm going to bring in a circle. We'll leave it at 24. Down like that. I'll scale it a bit like that. And we will go E and S. Bring it up a bit. Take this ring, E, we'll bring it down a bit, E and S, and then we'll close it off. Select the whole thing, E and Alt S, and I'm going to push up actually to about there, get some thickness. This, I'm just going to click New, and I'll go for Principled. I'll make this a bit bluish. We could try just something like this and see. Alright, now we add a subdivision surface of 2 and smooth. We'll throw in an edge loop here and here. Did I muck this up a little bit? Let's not do that one yet. Let's do that one. That's not necessarily the color that I'm using. Okay, let's go back to the camera. Yeah, I don't think I like it like that much. Okay, so what we'll do is, let's get a camera view. Let's shut off the subdivision. I just want to make it a little bit narrower than that. Look at that. cool. So far, so good. We'll do another thing. I don't need it to be like crazy. There we go. Nice. Okay. And then adjust to taste. Yeah, I will switch to 2.8. I'll do more stuff in 2.8. I've just been so busy with my kids, and more comfortable in 2.79. But we'll eventually we'll get to that. Touch that up, whatever. Just a couple more things. I just went into my materials here in the node editor, and I reduced the roughness a bit to give a bit more shine. You can mess around with the roughness and the glossy as well. You can bring that down if that's what you wanted to do. And also what you could do is on your particles, you could, under rotation, you can adjust this. All right. And the other thing I wanted to show you was if you had, say you didn't like them that close, you're not going to see that. All right. You could come into particle edit, and you could hit T. I could go on cut. I press F. I could change the size of my brush, and I could, if I was careful enough, I could get rid of that. All right, and if I go back to object mode, I've gotten rid of that problem seed. Okay, so I'm going to give it a render now. I'll show you that. That'll be it.